Annie was told by her mother that she was an insignificant girl and that her voice would never be heard. Her father is off fighting in Spain's civil war, while on the horizon are the beginnings of another war, a world war. That is when she meets Matthias, and he is like lightning.
I'm Christina Diaz Gonzalez, and I'm the author of A Thunderous Whisper. It's really the power of friendship and how just one person can make such a big difference in someone else's life. And what Annie sees Matthias as being this lightning and this powerful force, he's all about the flash and the energy and the power and making a difference and changing the world. Annie and Matthias do the one thing that it's probably not a good idea to do during wartime, which is spy on a group of spies. If they get caught by anyone, they could be charged with treason. They would be considered spies just like the adults. So it's very dangerous what they're doing, but they know that it's for the greater cause. She discovers that even though she can't be exactly like him, she can be thunder to his lightning, and she has her own power within her. Look for my book, A Thunderous Whisper, at your Scholastic Book Fair.
I'm sure that many of you have seen films about the Holocaust or studied the Holocaust in school. It was a time when the Nazis were rounding up Jewish people and anybody who was different and didn't fit their perfect model and putting them into concentration camps and prisoner camps. Too often we tend to think of these atrocities in terms of fictional accounts or something from your textbook, dates and numbers, and we forget that they happen to real people. People like Yannick Gruner, who is Jack Gruner. He was 10 years old in 1939 when the Nazis invaded Poland, and he was 13 years old when he was taken from the Krakow ghetto and taken to the first of many concentration camps.
And in concentration camps, people didn't have an identity, they became numbers. He ceased having a name like all prisoners, and so Jack got that number, B3087. B stands for Birkenau, a little town that the camp was erected, walking distance from Auschwitz.
I'm Alan Gratz, and I first met Jack when he and his wife Ruth brought Jack's story to Scholastic and said, we have an incredible story to tell you, and we want to get it out into the world. And Scholastic came to me and said, can you help us tell Jack's story? Jack's is a story of survival, having his family taken away from him, sometimes marched, sometimes packed in like cattle into train cars, and taken from camp to camp. He kept hope alive. He kept remembering who he was inside, even when they took his name away and they tattooed a number on his skin and told him, this is who you are now. He remembered that he was Yannick. I couldn't imagine how I would handle that. How would you handle it? You can pick up this amazing story of Jack Gruner, prisoner B3087, at your Scholastic Book Fair.
Military dog Carlos and his handler approach the entryway of a munitions shelter in the middle of a battle. Enemy combatants detonated an IED device, and Carlos is thrown back, collapsing his lungs and breaking his back, legs, and hip. His handler lays several feet away, also severely injured. There is intense gunfire everywhere. Despite his own injuries, Carlos manages to crawl over to his handler to protect him.
That's exactly the type of courage and loyalty that we look for in special operations working dogs. My name is Mike Ritland, owner of Tricos International. I'm outside my training facility in Cooper, Texas, and this is where we train dogs for the military, for police, and for personal protection. As a young boy, I was smaller than average. There was many times where I was bullied and picked on, and one of the things that I learned very quickly was that It was the inner determination that I had to succeed and the will to want to do special operations type missions as an adult that really carried me through all of those tough times as a kid. The book Navy SEAL Dogs is an insider's account of Naval Special Operations working dogs. I wanted to give the viewer an idea of what breeds we use, the history, the type of missions that we go on, and all the different types of training that these dogs go through prior to their deployments. What I would like you, the reader, to get from this book is to have an understanding of how special and unique these dogs are. It's impossible to relate the amount of importance that these dogs bring to the table. They have saved thousands of American lives and are something that we truly cannot fight without. If you want to learn more about these amazing animals, pick up a copy of my book, Navy SEAL Dogs, at your Scholastic Book Fair.
Some days, I feel invisible. I don't want to be the center of attention. I just want to be seen.
Have you ever felt like no one knew you existed? Like you were slowly disappearing from your family and friends? That's how Gabby Torres feels, more and more alone. But she's about to meet her guardian angel. My name is Victoria Schwab, and I wrote a series called Everyday Angel about a very peculiar girl named Aria, who walks right out of a shadow one day and into the world. And in order to earn her wings, she'll have to help 3 very different girls. I absolutely love creating the character of Aria. One of the things that makes her fairly unique is that when she walks out of her own shadow and into the world that first day, she's never been a person before. She doesn't know how to be one. And so not only does she have to figure out how to help these girls, starting with Gabby, she has to figure out how to be a human being. Because of all that, Aria naturally stands out, and it's not just because of her colorful shoelaces. Aria is sent to help a girl named Gabby Torres. Gabby's brother has been sick for a very long time, and over the course of that illness, his problems have seemed louder and louder, which makes Gabby's own day-to-day problems seem quiet by comparison, and she has started to disappear from her own family. It's up to Aria to convince Gabby that it's all right to want to be seen. You don't have to be the center of the universe, but you don't have to disappear either. So this is Aria's challenge. She sets out with guidance, humor, and a touch of magic to help Gabby Torres find her voice. So head over to your Scholastic Book Fair and pick up the first book in my Everyday Angel series, New Beginnings.